then, so time for that all-important conversation. The PURC, Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, has approved an 11.17% tariff increase for electricity from the 1st of July. PURC explained in a press release on Friday that the increase is for the recovery of total electricity revenue requirement for the regulated electricity market. Now, we've heard from the technocrats, so today we're going to speak to the consumers. Roland Walker will join us from Newtown, Accra's printing hub, as we speak to some printers on how this increase is going to affect them. In fact, he's there now. So, Roland, talk to us. What exactly have they been saying to you?
Anything you want printed, make sure you come onto the streets of Accra, Newtown, and you will find dotted along the streets all manner of printing shops already. Many of them have not started opening their shops, but you can see that a number of them already have started being here. This is what we want to do. We want to speak to a number of the printers. We also want to know what they think about the current trend as far as we're related, the extent they are going to pay the electricity tariff following the increment that have been announced by the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission. We'll also speak to some members of the public as well, but we'll quickly do that, but in a bit. We would want to first gauge the mood for just normal members of the public, what they think about the current increment and what we should be doing. Good morning. How are you? Yeah, he's late for work. Good morning. And we have already spoken to some residents who are going to give us a pointer or two, and before we get to the printers. But in the meantime, I have to say that, good morning. Which language do you want to speak for me? English is good?
No,
yeah, fine. Good morning. You're from saying? Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. One more announce Fiadano. Friday, no say. Say no light bill no because they've increased the tariffs by some 11.17%. Why don't you want to know anything?
My dream,
a problem.
my dream, I say, I been yes, sir, yeah, taxes. I did no more be brewer, on mining. You share, Nansaya, a Juma, I from Kakra, a Juma and Costania, a penal. Intino, sir, yes, ya to Susania, ya cana, a behaya Kakra, a Jumim, a moyen, crab, because Nansaya and Tad ye. A Jumano so and Costania, a penal. And think a Besraban say, Anka, either so behold the Kakra. And now say, Obatasu, Kakrama, Yenia. You could young secretary Jumaya Yano. Send by a boy, my so Yaka Crasher, Yama, and near Busia. Yankasa Monto so, but into Swano, a Yana a queen, inti, on Wying, one share, no one so, on my name from Kakra, name Wying at Jumaifu.
So a summary of what he said was that because they are into their own work or private operations, it would also mean that the cost of operations would always be high. More so, there's been less patronage of their goods and services. Is a concern for him. But more so, the increment would mean that there could be the attendant cost or increment in the way they operate their businesses. And he would want government to perhaps take a look at what the announcements have been by the PRC and seek some reduction on behalf of the normal consumer. But so, yasha o yusu fridge ne nyama kra wo fiansa na kra wo so wadwuma mu no utimi e de electricity no so ye adwuma na unim sa ban ba yi PURC last year omo ma announcement say there's been a reduction in electricity say ni nyina boaye nti say omo sisi so omo ma increment kakra na ne de so this aso bonobo aban
ya so na ye de sa ban te so ene ka ngede nya ya nkonti so de bia
ntimi manesa o
ye nim say ntimi manesa nanso se sia memu ye wo mu no dem ote so na ye mre bia baaye but se sia ye wo mu ne de se eno me ko no oto so ye ka say monto so ba increment no the percentage no na so ntinka even say 11.75 inko mabeye ebia 3.5 mpo a ebetimi adjust ye ngakra as I say die emu edin emu ashi
enti no Yesi announced here, no, and just to have an interpretation, he says that when they had a reduction, as announced by the PRC in 2018, it brought a lot of relief. Indeed, came as a good welcome of note for especially the local consumers or the normal consumers, domestic consumers like himself, but also for those who are operating such small businesses like a printing area or machinery. But if there is an upward adjustment of 11%, he feels that that would have some negative impact on their businesses. But sisi ano ha obiya use light. Woman swa omo mayeng kanea no anasa omo generate power no. Edema grid co no omo so omo dema PDS formerly ECG no. E say yetua womo. Now, wow, we a businessman now here. We are a Yamesi Conon. So, as I say, I say, Sene Bessia Conibiana, and so you had this price and the Bema, your customers, and I am sanity.
The woman say, we increase a Jumana, we and pay a month on top.
I have prices now.
In Canchero, no,
I see anything.
No, I swat it because you have dorsal. It's all you are just to cost repair. Now, I'm a free, and I'm a baby. But say, any. My mother for baby China waha, Nigeria waha. So many of them were say
competition. And I said, Muslim reducers, so one more than a four.
You can't compare Nigeria China price to Ghana. The pure price of.
Why is it that you can't compare the prices for your services and products, just like the way your competitors from China and Nigeria do?
We always import. Importation.
But they also import.
Yeah, imported.
Almost all more imported.
But also, you need to go on. It's will be in the for one channel nearby Yabatuana. Say, you know, maybe Bianson Yababe. Just imagine so Okajuan in China or no import Akajuan in China and Babaye. Your price will go up because you need to work. Into the mad in United and just mine on Tesuka Kramaying and one here. Because or Tesumaying says also increase. I ain't to make more increase, but on my name, Rafa Majubro and one here.
Yeah, that's it. And he says that apparently they are competing with other printers from China and Nigeria. And it looks like, especially those Oriental, those from China, they tend to have better prices for customers. So, for example, we'll take you through some of the works that are undertaken, and you can see that these are massive printing machines that are operated by these service providers here. And it would take some form of power for them to keep constantly operating their machinery. But going forward, we have to continue with this discussion because we know that this has a tentative date of implementation, the 11.17%, as announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. It affects everybody. I mean, if you're just a normal domestic consumer or you have a certain threshold, and so that categorizes you as an industrial consumer, it also means that it has implications on the prices of your services and products. But look, let's speak to more printers. Those who are at the printing hub of Accra. We're at Accra Newtown. Just in case you don't know where to get your printing activities or your printing works undertaken, just come onto the streets of Accra Newtown and you definitely will get to have an insight into what you want to print. Now, but first I do that, I have one of the best operators of printing facility here in Accra. And what's your name, sir?
Gideon Oklu.
Gideon Oklu. You operate, what's the name of your outfit?
Super Print.
Super Print.
Yes, please.
Accra Newtown.
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to take me through I see a number of machines here, and it looks like I've seen Heidelberg. Sounds German.
Yeah, Heidelberg.
It's just German.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, the Germans, they produce some of the best machines?
Yeah.
Okay, he says yes. Okay, so the first name again?
My name?
First name?
Gideon.
Gideon. Okay, so Gideon, I've seen some massive machines here, and just tell us how they are operated and subsequently how that can influence the sort of consumption that you see by way of the patterns of electricity that you consume monthly.
Yeah. You see, this machine here is a three-phase machine. Three-phase machine. Yeah, so with the increase of the tariffs, it's like it's going to worry us. I would say this book. They don't give us the books again.
I don't understand. We have a number of exercise books that are distributed and even used by thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of school-going pupils or students across our country. It's impossible for you to say just a small number of printers we have. You can get a number of clients coming in to order for print.
Yeah, it's like now they send everything to China. They print all the books in China now.
Is that so?
Yes, please. So we don't even have exercise books to print, you see. When you go to the market out there, you see that it's not printed over here. And we don't understand anything. We don't know what is actually happening.
Why is it that the China factor becomes critical in the conversation as to affordability of tariff, etc., and the prices you have to give to your customers?
Yeah, they claim it's cheaper there than here. That's what they said. Me, I've not been there to import or do anything of that sort before. But that's what those who have been going have been telling us, that it's very cheap over there. And with the fleet and everything, it's better than here. I don't know how true that is.
So you're telling me that among your competitors, you also have Chinese who are also doing printing?
Actually,
or they have Ghanaians fronting for them. Which one?
Yes, actually, they are not really Chinese. They are Ghanaians that print over there and bring it to the markets of Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have Chinese printers in town?
We have a number of them, just a few.
But set up businesses.
Exactly, but they are more into digital.
Okay.
Yeah, the digital
and yours is what?
Our is like normal printing.
Okay.
Yeah, with the heavy-bag machines.
Okay. So yours is the press?
Yes, yes, please.
Press. Okay. So now, if somebody goes to China, you're saying that because the cost of production is low, they're likely to get better prices for their customers.
Exactly. That's what they claim. That, like I said earlier on, I've not been there before, so I don't know how true that is. And once they are all rushing there, meaning it's 100% true. Yeah, so if they can do something to let things get cheaper here so that we can also get clients to work for, that's...
Perhaps you need to change your business model to create affordable pricing schemes or regimes for your client. And that would also enable you to get enough, recoup enough at the end of the day or each sales and be able to pay electricity.
With all these tariffs going up and all those things, I don't think that will be, yeah.
Okay, Gideon, let me create a scenario for you. In 2018, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission announced a reduction in the electricity tariffs. You were happy, weren't you?
Yes, we are all happy.
So since then, what has happened? How has electricity been affordable, power been affordable for you, Gideon?
I may say these days, like, we cannot afford it because the job is not coming and we are paying huge amount of electricity. So it's very difficult for us. But gone are the days when the jobs are flowing. We work and we get the money to pay electricity, pay the staff and everything. So we were okay by then. But for now, I'm afraid the way things are going now.
I've seen your room. You've opened the louver blades, and I'm presupposing you have an air conditioning unit, but it looks like it's long not been used.
Yes.
Or because of power?
Yeah, because of power. We cannot afford it, so we put it off. And normally these machines too are like cool area condition. Like we have to get air conditioning and all those things. But because of the power problems, like the bill is up, so we cannot use the air conditioning.
Okay, so let me just again summarize what you're saying, that ideally, because of the machinery you use, you should have been operating within a certain temperature in your operating room. Exactly. But because of affordability of electricity, you can't even put on your air conditioning unit.
Exactly. That's how it is.
That also has an effect on the efficiency of the machines and their durability.
Yes, 100%. Because we have to change, like normally we change the bearings and everything yearly. But because we cannot use the air conditioning, like every 2 months, we have to change the bearings and other things. Yeah.
I see.
They get wear off very quick than the way it should be. So if they can reduce everything for us so that we can be able to work very effectively, that will be okay.
Ideally, how much would you pay in a month? I'm assuming that you're a mid-size, you're a small-scale printer, but I mean, from all the accolades I'm getting, you're one of the bigger printer houses around.
We pay around 700 to 800
a month. 700.
Yes,
without
please.
a condition.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
11.17%. And are you classified as industrial or commercial user of electricity or just domestic?
Industrial.
Industrial.
Yes, please.
It means that the calculations are different.
Different. Yes.
Okay, but logically, as a consumer, do you understand how the calculations come about, and then how yourself you can calculate?
Not really. I don't know.
All you know is that the tariff has been.
Yes, please. Yes. I don't know. Yeah.
If you would advocate one thing, following this announcement of the 11.17% increment by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, what would it be? What would be, when you heard the announcement on Friday, what was your biggest fear?
My fear was, this is not what the NPP government told us. They campaigned that when they come, they reduce everything for us. We were all happy. Based on that, we voted them in power. But as things are going on, it's like everything have turned around. Yeah, that's not what we were expecting. So I was thinking, hey, how am I going to pay the workers and all those things and pay the light bill? The work too is not coming. Now, as you see, formally, like by now we are busy working, but now we are idle, sitting down.
If you say formally, that would be how many years ago or how many months ago?
About, let's say, 2-3 years ago.
Things were rosy.
Exactly.
Now things are tough.
Yes.
Because of competition.
Exactly.
It would also mean that ultimately, even though there have been promises, etc., from the conversations that we tend to have with the PRC and those who have great insight into energy, look, we produce, and once we produce energy, somebody would have to offtake or buy that power. And then ultimately, that would have to be sold to you, distributed to you, and you have to pay.
Yes, I'm not saying that the idea is okay, but it's too high. At least it should have been around 3 or 4 point something %.
You would have accepted
exactly.
By 11.17%.
It's too much. It's too much. It's too much for us.
Oh, Gideon, be realistic.
I'm too realistic. Yes, it's too much. So it should be around at least 5% to be okay. 5% will be okay.
Okay, so you have all these Heidelberg machines?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this one, if you want to buy a new one, will cost you how much?
It's around, new one is around 1 billion.
Over 100,000?
Exactly.
That's around, let's take it, $25,000.
Exactly.
Wow. Before you have your freight, etc.
Exactly.
Shipping and count.
Shipping, kakrao. Small one. Okay. They will say it's excluded, but before you see, they will add something small, then it becomes.
Okay, so now we have to end the conversation. Okay. As we do all that, Gideon, what would you want with all this you're advocating, with this interaction with me, that government immediately does about the current announcement? Because 11.17%, give or take, is what has been announced by the PRC. It's going to be implemented. We have to be realistic.
Yes, but all what I can say, we will plead for the government to come in for us. It just intercede for us so that they will be able to, reduce it for us more, at least 5% to be okay.
Okay. Well, we have to end the conversation, but are these your colleagues or workers? Can we also speak to them as well?
Yes, you can speak to them.
Well, we've been speaking to Gideon, and Gideon operates, I haven't seen your signpost, but what's the name again? Superprint. And I told you we're at Accra, Newtown. Look, if you want any type of printing work, you come onto the street of Accra, Newtown, just look around. We'll just take the cameras, you see them. We have all manner of printers all around here, but they use a lot of electricity. It also means that, well, they are going to have a lot to say about the rise or the increment that has been announced. 11.1% as announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. Bema, Obeka Brofo and Obeka, which one do you want to say? I think English is fine.
Local.
Local. It's not any problem. But your first.
Na microphone be brought to my.
Any problem. Okay. Now, where you so a brofumu and Pacha first.
Within the
Kwame. If you take a look at the current state of the way printers operate at Newtown, I've seen many of you, I've already counted about 50, 60, 70 already. Increment to 11.17%. How is that going to be affecting your operations?
No, quite many nipa ni muni. MY Kwambe Breso. Sisi Juma ye no. Juma no enti first. Juma na kasa krama. Enti se increment we be ka bill a yetua dada na ho a. Boso me ne beso kakra be ye no odi ni nyina betua bill. Na de atua workers. Wonu wabusu akra ne mbedi kra hwe ya ho be den. Because Juma na kasa de ese de emma eni ho. So Juma na government na wa Juma no kese. Na kese na ono nso ewo no. Onyamu man. Dodo na ono wo no onyamu man.
Or the coin.
Ebi ko China. Ebi nso ko we ka se enyuma bi wan ka se ba press nketwa no ho. Bibi se sai books. Nkanya adwuma ya so de ma press kese bia no eden no ye because machine ketwa bi o Newtown bia betumi print sai book. Any security features bia a be ka se one print wo ebia press
specialized
enhu hia. But say adwuma no nyina no nya de o de ma press nketwa mo eden.
So you would want, you're complaining about vis-a-vis work that is coming and how you can afford.
Yes.
And you're saying that if government could have even done some sort of allocations of some works within the printing sector that will come to the small-scale printers, that would have been better.
Yes, yes, yes.
But right now you're not seeing that.
We are not seeing that.
It's creating problem for your operations.
Very, 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 very.
Now, 11.17%. The PURC has announced it. Whether you like it or not, it will be implemented.
Yes, Reno. Yes, Reno. Say, yeah, politics, but asemwa yenka sanya eti. Say, before about we be take over no na sa ne manyina enema o kan say ne boy den. O mama ne yentimi ntua. Enyuma yefo ye wu enyuma egu. Nti obo behwe say sa ne mani na be den e be kofo mama yen. Ampa o te so kakra.
Last year.
Last year.
Last year there was a reduction. Yes.
But was I out of something just send your kind, baby or dear coy, no baby was idea begin. I can say you won't be a boy was aquan so.
Kwame says that before the MPP government will assume office in 2016.
Wow, fascinating views being shared there by those who work in the printing enclave of Newtown here in Accra, all bracing themselves for increases in the tariffs for their utility bills, but mainly electricity bills. Of course, this conversation has been raging on since the announcement of a pending 11.1% increase, an increase that not everybody is looking forward to, obviously, but we have heard the justifications from PURC for the reasons behind this increase. Tariffs have been going up and down for a while. The discussion will also go up and down for quite a while.